I'm wondering if I'm live. Hello, hello. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I, all right. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Okay. I'm hearing feedback and I don't know why it's like a delay. Okay. Okay. I hope you can hear me. If anyone's out there and they can hear me, please let me know because as I was talking, my computer was talking at a delay. So if anyone's out there and if they can hear me, just put a one. Because if not, then I'm gonna have to restart and do this over. Because as I talk, then it was mirroring what I said later. But I hope we're okay now. I am coming to you to talk about writing a book just for the fun of it. Okay? If you wanted to write a book because you had these big plans of writing your story or um, making everything perfect, that is not the purpose for writing. I think personally, when you write, it should be something that you want to do because you want to share something that you've been thinking about or something that's on your heart or on your mind. Okay? It's like doing things differently. So I'm going to say the first point. Okay, the first point will be just embrace the absurd. Do something totally different. Let your imagination run wild. If you've never done that, writing, you should. Because imagine the books, well, at least the books I had to read when I was younger. Think about not following the rules and just doing something that's not the ordinary. Okay. Like, okay, the book I'm thinking about is Animal Farm by George Orwell. This book had the animals talking. The animals talks amongst each other. Okay. Now, when you go on a farm, animals don't talk. You can't understand anything, move and whatever. The horse making, they don't talk. But in this book, they talked. So if you have thought of something crazy that, well, you may think is crazy, but it may capture the attention of someone who would love to read something that's totally different. So that's one idea of why you should write a book. Okay. Just do something totally absurd in the book, have animals talking, the ants are forming some type of thing against the humans or against the other bigger animals, and just let it be a revolt of some sort. Whatever your mind can think of, you can write it in a book. Doesn't have to be crazy where It's mean, but it could just be something totally like a crazy dream you wake up from. That's a great idea for a book. Why not? George Orwell did it. Okay. Animals, Animal Farm. Okay. Right, number two, writing with reckless abandon. Don't worry about the structure of the book. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about even making sense. You just sit at your computer or you use your journal and you just start writing. Just open your mind and just write. Whatever's been on your mind, whatever's been bothering you, whatever you've been thinking about, whatever just bugs you, just write it out. Write it out. You can change names. You can make it a different place if it's your workplace or if it's your school or if it's some other event that you attend and you think the people are just not normal. Change the names, change the people, change the place, and write. What would you do differently? What would you have the characters do that the real characters aren't doing? Okay, that's number two. So you're just gonna let go and just write, no order, just write it all down. Clear your mind, okay? That's the second thing. The third thing is just channeling your inner child. Remember the stories you made up as a kid? If you can remember that far, I'm not sure everyone's memory or if they were able to creatively think of things. Some kids wanted to be fairies and how they would be the fairy princess, or they would be the queen fairy and they would do this or that. Or the little boys, they may have wanted to be Spider-Man or Superman. And how would they defeat the villain? How could they keep kryptonite away from the villain's hand so then they never get weakened? Okay, what about the child that wants to be the fastest runner? And they practice and practice, and no matter what, they could never run as fast. But if they wrote this in a book, why wouldn't they win? Okay. So, whatever you dreamt of as a child, maybe you wanted to walk up the side of a building. Kids have the greatest imaginations because they don't put limits on themselves. Think of that when you're writing a book. This is fiction. So, think of some of these things that you could write in a book that's been on your mind that you laugh about at times, write it down. You will be surprised at how many people love to escape into a book like that. Okay. Just an idea. It's just a made up story, but it's interesting. Okay. Some of the best books I've written were fiction books. And they were made up. The places didn't exist, but I loved it. Okay. And I still remember a lot of them. Okay. Okay, now this next point is making your characters mischievous. I don't know if you remember The Little Rascals. That was a show a long time ago. They still have some replays on certain channels. But all of the children got in some type of trouble, but it made for an interesting show every time. Okay. So you look forward to see what they would get into. They weren't the normal do good kids that never had any issues that, listened to their parents. Whenever we saw them, they were all together in a group, just being bad, just being kids, just no rules, just, and that made it so interesting. I enjoy creativity in that way. Someone had to write the script for The Little Rascals, or possibly it was a book. I never read the book, but someone had to write the script. Where did they get it from? Think about that if you're on the fence about writing a book. I truly enjoy books that are not normal. Like I loved Alien, the movie, not the scary parts, but just the effects. Someone thought of all the details, all of the everything, the background, the spaceship, the monster itself. I don't like scary books or anything, but I enjoy the creativeness of the scenery, everything that's involved. And I wonder, like, how did they think of that? How did they make this like this? Because it sticks with you and you wonder, did they have a dream about this or did they see something that made them think, what if there's an alien and it looks like this? Whatever happened that made them write that, it sticks with you. There's one that just came out. So, yeah, it's just use your mind creatively and just whatever you think of. It doesn't have to be, I mean, unless you're writing a true story about yourself or about your business or something else. But if you have an active imagination or you remember some of the things you thought of as a child, it would be so nice to bring that up because that's missing. A lot of that's missing. We leave it to Hollywood, but a lot of people have imaginations and ideas and characters that they think of. So that's just number four. You can do something like that in a book. Just make up something that's a creature you've never heard of, language you've never heard of, and just let it go. They may have their own little language or signs, or they may walk sideways instead of forward. I mean, whatever. Be different. Different works. Okay. The fifth point is using sort of playful language. Like, you know, how when you see little kids and they're learning how to rap and they learn there's a beat to it, you can use words in a song in your book for certain characters. And it lets the audience know, okay, maybe this is like a poetic type of book, or maybe this is a book that the children can express themselves in a way where they're free to make up sentences, solve problems this way, whatever. Poetic type book. It doesn't have to be a book of poems, but the characters in the book can write this way. So that's number five. And the last point is just ignore the plot. Instead of worrying about a plot, just let the story take you on a journey. Just let the characters do whatever they want. They may have been in a cafe or they may have been in a library, and next thing you know, they walk into a room and they entered another dimension. Okay. Remember the show Quantum Leap? That's out there again. It's old. It's an old one. Quantum Leap, Sliders. It's like, well, how about the never-ending story? That's one. I mean, it's older. Now it's older. But that was something that the characters are doing one thing and they open a door or a wardrobe that takes them into another reality or another lifetime or another dimension. Whatever you want to write about, you can do it. And that's all I wanted to share. We're in week two of our writing class. It's with Vanessa Collins, and I'm one of her assistants, but I enjoy being there because everyone writes a different type of book. Everyone. No book is alike. So I'm going to leave the link in the description. Well, yeah, in the description part of what I talked about today for you. If you're interested in joining, you would be joining at week two. You haven't missed anything. We just talked about everything for the class. Every class is recorded and it's in a private Facebook group. So if you have any questions, you can post in the group and you can ask questions. You can reach out to Vanessa or to me or to her other assistant, Jackie, and we would love to assist you. But I enjoy working with writers because everyone thinks differently. They all come from a different point of view and perspective. So if you're interested, join us. It's every Monday evening. And if you miss class for any reason, the replay is there. All right. Hope you guys stay inspired. Keep writing. If you're interested in writing, start. Just start writing. Write down some ideas. Write down the things you have been thinking about writing. And hopefully, I will see you all in class. Okay? Have a great day. Bye. Did any of this? Mm.